Why is this important? Well,
Yeah.
it's important because we misunderstand
Yeah.
what this way of love looks like. This way of love is not a way of power. It is not.
Yeah. But Mark, if I really engage in other-centered co-suffering love, doesn't that mean that I'm going to let people walk all over me? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Right. Of course. I guess it kind of depends on the moment, right? You know, like there are times and places where I consciously choose to let other people be right, to let other people win the argument. Right? Because in my soul, I discern that in that moment, it's more important for me to not power up. And that can feel like letting people walk all over me. It's not really, but it can feel that way. Does that mean that, you know, the church should let, you know, whoever horrible anti-Christian forces take over the government and persecute Christians? Well, I guess you should speak to the martyred church over the last 2,000 years about that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, is the goal of Christianity to make a world where Christians can get away with doing what they want? No. The goal of Christianity is salvation. However you envision that. I certainly grew up in a church where salvation was almost entirely about what happens after you die. And I think that matters. But I also presently believe that salvation is about God saving us now from the fear of death. And the fear of death, the early church fathers, when they talked about the fear of death, they used the fact that Christians weren't afraid of the fear of death as an apologetic. Read Justin Martyr, read Athanasius. They would say over and over again, look, this is what happens when people follow Jesus. They are no longer afraid of death. And they didn't mean that those people were focused on life in the hereafter. They meant that those people were no longer afraid of all of the kinds of things that are leveraged in society to control people.
Yeah.
Right? That they were willing. I mean, they talk about how willing Christians were to be martyred, how willing they were to be martyred.